Hi, Attorney Boyle Glover here. Well, this is not really fitting in my channel. Mostly what I do here is for my kids and those who might be interested, war stories and stuff. But I couldn't pass on this. It has to do with the lawsuit between Hans Newman and Magnus Carlsen et al. Yeah, I wondered when it would happen as I watched that whole scenario play out, and I listened to Nakamura and the others and Wentz. Yeah, I've done a fair amount of federal lawsuits in my day, and I've done some defamation lawsuits. And so I would wince every now and then because I would think, boy, did they realize how close to the line they are? And so I'm not surprised at the lawsuit. I really am not. But there are some issues, mostly jurisdictional. There's some others, but the ones that'll play out early in this will be jurisdictional. So just for those who may not know, Hans Newman is a chess player. He claims his career was damaged because Magnus Carlsen alleged he cheated in a chess game that he played against Carlsen. And there's several other causes of action, which I'm not going to go into here. But the defamation was, according to Niemann, bolstered or furthered by others, including Chess.com and its president, Daniel Wrench, and also named in it was Nakamura. So he's a chess player, a grandmaster, smart guy, got a podcast, and so he said a little more than he should have said. And so anyway, essentially defamation, let me explain defamation to you. It's a tort, and it's going to be defined by Missouri law. I'm not sure how Missouri looks at it all, but he's claiming libel and slander. So libel is defamation in the written word, slander's defamation by spoken word. So he's claiming libel and slander. And again, there are other counts besides that, but these are the underlying ones. So I think it also is a defamation per quod. That's QUOD. And it really means that damages have to be alleged and proven. Whereas the defamation per se are statements that are presumed to be harmful. In other words, damages are presumed. So, for example, a per se claim, a defamation per se. I saw him attack so-and-so with a weapon and hurt him. Or I know he robbed a store. I know he's a thief. I know he has child porn on his computer. Things like this are defamation per se. In other words, there's a presumption of damages. Generally, there's about 4 categories, which I'll not go into here. And I don't know what the categories are. I don't know what the parameters are under Missouri law. But they'll follow Missouri law with respect to all of those issues. So, but there's definitely going to be a jurisdictional fight. And that has to do whether or not a court can hear a case, whether it has the legal right to hear a case. For example, a man's driving his car in Kansas. He hits a pedestrian who got off the bus, and the pedestrian lives in Chicago. The man driving the car lives in Kentucky. So pedestrian, he files a lawsuit in federal court in Illinois, where he lives. And he alleges damages exceeding $150,000. The defendant driver would come in and object to jurisdiction, would say, jurisdiction's not here, Judge. He can sue me in my state, and presumably he could sue where the accident occurred. But in that, remains to be seen. But basically, jurisdiction is whether a court has the right to hear a case. There's going to be a lot of issues arising on jurisdiction by probably all of the defendants. Niemann's essentially saying the original action, the underlying action that gave rise to his claim arose in the state of Missouri, hence the lawsuit filed there in federal court. This is going to be kind of problematic because here's the legal issue. At what point in time did the defamation take place? Was it when Carlsen walked off the stage? Carlsen didn't say anything. And I don't know that he said anything there. I may be missing something, but in my reading of the complaint, it's mostly what was said after. Now, the plaintiff is definitely going to try to link all the statements back to that original walk off the stage event. I think that's going to take place, and maybe they can do that. At this point, I don't know enough of the facts issues. I've listened to a lot of it, but I really don't have all the facts that I would need to make a real serious evaluation of the case. But that is an issue. At what point in time did the defamation take place? Keep that in mind. That's going to be a central thing in this case. So with Nakamura, he's going to argue, hey, my comments were made in Florida. I wasn't there. And I made comments after the event. Well, he made comments right around that time. And they were transmitted via the internet. Presumably they reached Missouri. But it's still going to be an issue. So the question arises, does jurisdiction exist for Nakamura? So same arguments are going to be made for chess.com and Wrench. Certainly for Carlsen. He's going to say, hey, when I made my statements, I was not in Missouri. I don't know where he was. He may have been overseas. He may have been home. Who knows? But it's going to be an issue. So I'll keep track of it. I may post another video on this if there looks like there's enough interest in it. But I just thought I'd post this. It's fascinating. And my goodness, the complaint. I'll put a link in the description for the complaint in case you haven't seen it and want to see it. It's a interesting kind of complaint. Very factual, overwhelming, almost a book. I could make some comments on it, but I won't. I'll leave it go. So have a good day. I hope you enjoyed, but look for the jurisdictional fight. It's coming.